We are live because there is something very important I am here to tell you people. All Cameroonians, you have until December 9th, 2024, that is next Monday, to declare your personal income tax. That is the deadline the government of Cameroon has given. If you want to know, the coffer of the government of Cameroon is red, and they are struggling by opposite me to raise money from any who and anyhow. So they will hit hard on Cameroonians who refused to declare their income tax. So to avoid problems, I am begging on you, especially those who have been following me. I do not want you to involve yourself in any problem. Declare your personal income tax. If you don't know the procedure, because it's mostly online, and many people have been complaining that they struggle to get to it, and there is no way. So if you do not know the procedure, it is better to go to any taxation office in your locality and ask how to go about it, or you ask people around who maybe has successfully in doing it, succeeded to do it. Ask them to tell you how they succeeded, so that you also can follow. It will not kill you. There are a lot of things the government of President Bobia has done against Cameroonians, and we are still surviving. We are still living. We are still alive. So it is not this one that will kill us, because the kind of problems I am foreseeing will be terrible in Cameroon. So that is why I am calling on you, all Cameroonians, that we know there is nothing we can do. So the best thing we have to do is to declare that a personal income tax. I'm begging all of you, do it to avoid problem. It will be a trap, and many of us will end up in prison, and they will abandon us there. That is why I am making this video. I am coming live. It is very difficult for me to come live. So I'm coming live today mainly because of this particular issue. That from all indication, the government of Cameroon will punish many Cameroonians because of this personal income tax. They are being pressured by the International Monetary Fund because they are owing the International Monetary Fund. So I am begging you to do it. There are a lot of things they mention that if you don't do it, you will be punished this way, you'll be punished that way. One of it is that you will not, they will not issue you any visa to travel out of the country. So even you are visiting Cameroon, maybe you are staying abroad and you are visiting Cameroon, they will hold you. So when you reach Cameroon, better ask through the taxation office to see. Don't schedule your flight back to your country where you are without asking, because you might spend money for flight for nothing. And then the next issue that they mentioned that you will be punished for is that what they will not give you any building permit. If you want to build a house in which you have not declared your personal income tax, they will not give you building permit. Or if you have an apartment or you have a house already and you want to extend electricity there, the government will not give you any authorization for electricity or water, or you will not pay bills under your names if you do not declare your personal income tax. And then you will not do any business, you will not do anything that has to do with the government. If your child or you put to birth and you want to make birth certificate, you cannot do it. If you want to make death certificate, you cannot do it until you declare your personal income tax. That is why I am making live video to plead on you people, especially those following TFA talking point, that it is a trap by the government of Cameroon and many innocent people will end in prison. So the best thing is to avoid their problem. Do not say you are in southern Cameroon, you are fighting for your freedom, or you are ambassador, you are fighting for your freedom. You have nothing to do. As so far as Cameroon is still one internationally, they will do anything to punish us. So that is why I am pleading on you to do it until Southern Cameroon is free or until Ambazonia achieve independence. You are still under Cameroon. And whatever they say, you are going to do it. So that is the main reason I am making this live video, pleading on you, all Cameroonians, to do this. I am pleading that if you are in Cameroon, the best thing is don't say, I did not know. It is better for you to go to any taxation office and ask them how the procedure and who are those to pay. Know the age difference. So even if you are working, maybe under somebody, in the private sector, go and ask about the personal income tax, so that you should not fall victim. When I think about what was happening in 1980s or at the beginning of 1990s, where our parents were jumping into the forest, running away because of tax, this is exactly what the government is bringing. And if after the 9th of December 2024, that is next Monday, many Cameroonians will be running away. They will not be having that chance to do their business, because the government of Cameroon, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, they are in need of money, not just any kind of money, huge money, and they will do anything to take that money from Cameroonians. You heard the Prime Minister of Cameroon came to the National Assembly and declared openly, without any fear, that prices of fuel will increase because they will reduce fuel subsidy by 2025, and they will reduce it to nearly zero, meaning 1 liter will be maybe around 1,000 plus. And then seeing Cameroonians are people for peace. They don't want trouble. They cannot stand up like Nigerians stood up against bad governance. Since Cameroonians cannot do it, then the only thing is to obey the instruction from the government. Because this is an open letter or an open means for Cameroonians to stand up against the government. They have declared it that 2025 will be miserable for all Cameroonians. We are now crying that prices of everything it has maybe double. In 2025, it will be triple, because when fuel prices increases, everything will be expensive. Because everything, whether it is a farmer, whether it is a fisherman, whether it is who, depend on it for transportation. And prices of nearly everything will increase. That is what is awaiting Cameroonians in 2025. The government, they have done it. And then they are still insisting about tax. And then creating other domain to raise money from Cameroonians, in which one of it is the personal income tax. So I am making the video pleading with you to do it. If you do it, it is for your own benefit. It is for also my own benefit, because I will be seeing you also on TFA Talking Point. You will also be subscribing. You will also be sharing our videos. We do not want you to involve yourself in any trouble. That is what I'm making this. It is wrong. Looking at the living standard in Cameroon, it is wrong to levy the people to pay tax. Keep on adding and adding and adding. They talk about personal income tax. Then they also transfer another burden to the local government and ask them to be collecting tax on agricultural land. Meaning, if you have your land that you are cultivating, you have to be paying tax. Right to the villages, you have to be paying money for property. Houses that you are doing business in it, you are renting and you are raising money from it, you will be paying tax from it right in the village. So they are creating a lot of means in order to raise money to pay the International Monetary Fund and other things going on in Cameroon. They have presented a budget of 7,317.7 billions to the people of Cameroon. And then many Cameroonians think that the money is somewhere that the government will take and put in circulation in Cameroon. The money is not where. They are going, that 7,317.7 billion will be coming from the common people in Cameroon. That is what they call the taxpayer money. They are going to collect it from us. The Prime Minister presented and explained how they are going to raise the money. The Custom Department, they have their own. The police, they have their own. This one have their own. The tax department, they have their own. Everything in Cameroon will be taxed by the government. So the only thing to avoid this is that we struggle by opposite movement to declare your personal income tax, because the government of Cameroon, I know, will hit very hard on Cameroonians. And that hitting very hard, many Cameroonians will find themselves in prison. And maybe they will not have money to bail themselves out or to go out of the prison. They will remain there. Many, there are people in Cameroon that are in prison. They need only 50,000 francs to be taken to court, because that is how Cameroon is. If you don't pay yourself to go to bribe yourself to be taken to court, nobody will take you to court to judge you. Many are dying in prison. They don't have any money to pay the lawyers or to take their case to the court, and they abandon them there. So do not allow yourself to the point where you will create another problem for yourself. The life is, first of all, very difficult presently now in Cameroon. So the only thing is to avoid problem. And the government, they have set this one as a trap. This is the third time they are pushing the deadline for the personal income tax. It was, first of all, the first date I have forgotten, but then the second date was 1st December, which came and passed, and then they postponed it to the 9th. And I don't know whether they will still postpone it, because if they postpone it, the 1st of January, they has to be collecting the tax in order to have the 7,317.7 billions that they are wishing and praying and believing that they will have it. So the only thing I make this live video today is to plead with you that I don't want you to maybe involve yourself in any problem, so that maybe tomorrow I will not see you again on TFA Talking Point. You will not be sharing our videos or commenting and come to beat to solve the problem that we already have. So the best thing is for you to avoid that problem and declare your tax, your personal income tax. If you don't know how to do it, go to any a tax department around your locality and ask them how the procedure, because it is mostly online, and many people say they have struggled and then stop somewhere. And then if you cannot go to any tax department, ask your neighbor, anybody that have done it, to explain to you how they did it. They can even help you to do it on your behalf, so that we should avoid the problem that the government is pushing against Cameroonians. To me, if Cameroonians were like me, that we can all agree and deep in our heart and stand up, just like the Nigerians stood up against the government, Kenya stood up against the government, because of this very issue, tax. We could have done it, and then they will stop it. But since Cameroonians are so afraid that they cannot stand up, the only thing is to pay it. Because when the prime minister, when they talk about the personal income tax, Cameroonians were very angry. The prime minister yesterday stood out and said that 2025 they are going to reduce fuel subsidy. And then when you understand that, you know that terrible lives style is waiting Cameroonian in 2025. But nobody is standing up. Everybody is quiet. I was expecting political leaders to maybe organize some people, or civil society leaders to organize some people, so that they can just start something somewhere. And maybe Cameroonians now will stand up. But nobody is even taking it serious. And when it will be applicable in 2025, from 1st January 2025, that is when you will see Cameroonians standing up and maybe complaining. This is not what we are praying for. We do not pray for violence. But if they push us too hard, and then there is an opportunity where all Cameroonians can stand up the same day, the same time, all over Cameroon, we are going to defeat the CPDA. If it is the issue that Bamenda will stand up and then Bafoussam remains, then we can never defeat the military. We can never defeat the CPDA, because they will send military from Bafoussam to come and support the one in Bamenda against the common people. If Buya stand up, they will send military from Douala to come and support the one in Buya, and then they will suppress the population. The same thing in other regions. If people in the far north region stand up, they will take military from the northern part of Cameroon and from the north and send to the far north region to suppress them. And that is how they have been operating. So, but if we stand up the kind way these people in Kenya stood up, the Kenyans stood up, Nigerians stood up against the government, we are going to defeat the CPDF. That is the only way. But if we remain quiet, they are testing us and seeing our reaction. They test and see our reaction. They try and see the way we are behaving. They say, no, this one, there is nothing they can do. They will keep on pushing and pushing and pushing. So prepare yourself. If you were drinking, you had to start thinking of how to stop it because you will not have money for breakfast for your children in 2025. Life will be terrible. Now we are crying, but they say they are going to reduce fuel subsidy. Right down is just at the point of zero from 623 billions. They are going to cut it right down to 15 billions. Just imagine, meaning 1 liter of fuel or petrol will be costing at least 1,500 francs in Cameroon. And if that's happened, all Cameroonians will be living under below poverty line. If we do not stand up, we are going to perish because of poverty, hardship. But I say it again. That saying there is no way that Cameroonian can stand up just the way Southern Cameroonians stood up in 2016 in all Southern Cameroon, all over. There was no way for the government to stop them. There was no way for them to stop them because all over there was no place, no village where there were, people did not stand up. That is the very thing that can happen to liberate Cameroonians from the CPDM. That is the only thing. Apart from that, there is no way. There is no way. So, since we cannot do that, the only thing is for us to declare our personal income tax. I just came up today to say this. I prolonged the videos. I thought that it would just be 4 minutes or 2 minutes, but I really need to talk about it to everybody. I will post the video on my YouTube channel, TFA Talking Point, so any other person can see. Because if we are waiting for people to come, we will make it 2-3 hours, in which it will be very long. So this is just the main reason why I came live today. If you check my video, maybe once I came live on YouTube, but this is the purpose. If you are listening to this, if there is any way you can advise anybody related to you above 18 years, they will find out the age limit for personal income tax. Let them do it because the government of Cameroon are in need of money and they will do anything. They will hit hard on Cameroonians concerning this personal income tax. Ask your relatives to declare. If you are in Cameroon, and you have the means to go to taxation office and ask who are those to pay this tax. Is it from 18 to 50 years or to 60 years? They tell you, then you call your relatives and inform them. It is just declaration. They then declare that I am doing this, this is my occupation, this is what I'm earning per month, so that the government will know how much they will be taking from there. Even if it's 100 francs, 200 francs, 1,000 francs, pay it to avoid problem. If you are in prison, it will hurt me so much because I will not be seeing you until a talking point. If they arrest you or you will be running because you do not have your receipt with you, as it was in those days, it will hurt us so much. Many people will disappear and many people will join things that they don't like. The government of President Paul Biya want to frustrate Cameroonians, and the only thing we have to do is to say no. Thank you very much for joining live. Thank you very much for being there, for liking the video. Thank you very much for sharing it. If you share it, the videos, okay. If you maybe just spread it as an information, verbal information to your relatives, your friends, there is no problem. That is, we just want Cameroonians to know that we, TFA Talking Point, are pleading upon them to declare their personal income tax to avoid the problem that the government of Cameroon is setting before to trap Cameroonians in order to punish them or send them to prison. Thank you for joining live.